little Saab 9000 sort of update here. What's going on this week? Let's go over the pile of parts first. As you can see, I ordered some parts for the car. I got the transmission off, as you just saw on the table. Oh yeah, without removing that CV axle, which is nice. So I should be able to drag that back onto there and put that back in there without disturbing that. I decided to have a look at the front brakes, just because, and discovered that they were absolutely, completely screwed. Like, they were absolutely done for. There is no pad material left, essentially, and the rotors are just absolutely screwed. So, got some new front rotors from Brembo, some Stop Tech Street pads, threw in an air filter because I think that had to get done too. And as you can see, I have cleaned the grunge out of the inside of there, reinstalled a new clutch slave cylinder, carefully torqued it so that it's centered on the shaft. If I know a lot of people have issues with these screwing up, and one of the reasons is because if you have the torque unequal on these fasteners, it can actually wander a little bit off center, and then when you're pushing the clutch in and out, it'll actually just scrape the housing or the piston into the housing, which is actually, I think, what kind of looks like happened to this thing. Because if you look, that piston, or that is just absolutely scored. This is actually the piston. This is just fine, but the housing in which it rubs against is absolutely, you can actually feel that with your, you can actually feel the ridge in here. It's so bad. It's absolutely destroyed. Of course, the throat bearing is gonzo as well. The release bearing, the new clutch slave came with a new release bearing, obviously this one, but I put on an SKF one there. Brand name bearings are always a good way to go. So yeah, at this point, transaxle, I'm going to drag that back onto the car. I've lubed up the shafts on the, well, I think it's called the intermediate shaft. Let's have a little adventure under here. Took the clutch off, cleaned all the poo out of there because there was some brake fluid getting flung around in here over the years. Took the intermediate shaft out, lubed it, so it's ready to get transmission input going to there. Yeah, nothing really else much happened in here. So yeah, the brakes are all off, ready to go. Oh. And I found not a new throttle cable, but a non-wrecked throttle cable. The sheathing on this is not destroyed anywhere, but it has a different attachment. So I ended up changing the throttle body, or this part of the throttle body, in order to make this new cable arrangement work. So that's nice. I'll be able to finally drive my car without the really sticky throttle cable. So yeah, not a total just slave cylinder job. There's a couple other things I took care of while I was at it too. So yeah, should have this thing running in a day or so.